They thought a single signature on a falsified medical document would be enough to sweep 63 years of my existence straight into the shadows. My home, my legacy, and my very identity were all targeted in a ruthless bid to quietly strip away everything I had built alongside my late husband. But after enduring decades of life and burying the man who shared my heart, I refused to let anyone treat me like a piece of garbage ready to be thrown away. My name is Clara Vance, and what you are about to hear is how an ordinary senior citizen managed to outsmart a master manipulator while exposing a multi-state network of financial exploitation. I did not yell, panic, or beg for mercy when the trap began to close around me. Instead, I remained patient, paid close attention to every detail, and waited for the exact right moment to turn the tables on the person who tried to ruin my family. The evening everything fell apart began inside a massive celebration filled with sparkling glass chandeliers and towering arrangements of fresh white roses. I stood in the shadow of a marble pillar, sipping my drink, when two voices drifted past the floral decorations. My son spent years struggling through severe depression after his father passed away, and back then I was the one who stayed by his side every night to keep him afloat until a new woman entered his life. Her name was Bridget, and she presented herself as a sweet, attentive companion who seemed deeply devoted to our family. Yet beneath that soft exterior, she was slowly rearranging our lives and pushing me to the outer edges of my son's life. Standing behind that pillar, I listened as Bridget casually explained to her friend that they only needed a couple more public mix-ups to officially prove I was losing my mind, which would grant them full ownership of my seaside property. That oceanfront house was not just real estate, because my late husband spent his entire savings to build it with his own hands. Hearing Bridget talk about taking the place where my family built all our memories made my chest tighten with deep fury. But my expression never broke. I calmly placed my glass on the bar, walked out onto the balcony, and used my phone to record a clear message declaring my sound mental health and exposing Bridget's scheme before heading back into the crowd. Later that evening, an old friend named Joyce approached me near the tables to share a disturbing piece of news about Bridget. Joyce explained that her elderly uncle had fallen victim to the exact same woman 2 years prior, when Bridget gained his trust, secured power of attorney, and left him in a memory care facility right after acquiring the title to his house. Everything instantly clicked into place, including the innocent-looking memory evaluation Bridget had coerced me into taking months earlier. Later that evening, an old friend named Joyce approached me near the tables to share a disturbing piece of news about Bridget. Joyce explained that her elderly uncle had fallen victim to the exact same woman 2 years prior, when Bridget gained his trust, secured power of attorney, and left him in a memory care facility right after acquiring the title to his house. Everything instantly clicked into place, including the innocent-looking memory evaluation Bridget had coerced me into taking months earlier. Over the following weeks, Bridget and my son relocated into another house I owned, immediately filling the space with expensive furniture and modern decorations while ignoring my inquiries about financial contributions. When my son visited me alone, he seemed exhausted and casually mentioned that Bridget was only keeping an eye on my health because of the concerning results from my recent clinic visit. Recognizing the danger, I realized that Bridget had already begun laying the groundwork to declare me legally incompetent. I immediately drove to the medical facility to inspect my records, where I discovered that someone had entered false observations suggesting cognitive decline right under caregiver notes bearing Bridget's name. Realizing how long she had been preparing this trap, I met with my longtime legal advisor to begin quietly liquidating my properties and securing my financial accounts. However, Bridget proved to be fast, as I soon detected an unauthorized attempt to breach my personal email accounts shortly after leaving the legal office. Rumors quickly began spreading among my neighbors, with several people asking if I was having trouble remembering basic details or acting paranoid toward my family. It was clear that Bridget was poisoning my reputation in the community, so I contacted a private investigator named Brenda to help me gather concrete evidence. Brenda confirmed that this pattern of predatory manipulation was surprisingly common, advising me that accurate records, verified dates, and written documentation would be essential to breaking through Bridget's elaborate facade. Every single day became a quiet test of patience as I meticulously documented every suspicious event while protecting my son from discovering the full scope of the investigation too soon. By focusing entirely on hard evidence rather than emotional arguments, I prepared to dismantle the false narrative that had been constructed around my sanity. I knew that protecting my family meant standing firm, keeping my composure, and allowing the truth to unravel the deception piece by piece until my life and legacy were fully restored.